Major capital cities, which the first one will be Aksum. Have you been to Aksum?
Not yet.
Yeah. Aksum was a capital city from the 1st century until the 7th. Then from the 7th to the 13th century, it moved to Lalibela. And you have heard Lalibela? Yeah, Lalibela has been a capital from the 7th century until the 13th century. And from 13th century until the 16th century, until Gondar was founded, the Ethiopian kings were not following capital city. They were following mobile courts. They were moving from place to place to control the whole Ethiopia. And then in the 16th century, around 1540s, they went to do the same thing to control the trade routes and the power in the eastern part of Ethiopia. There is a place called Harar. We heard of Harar. In the eastern part of Ethiopia, there is a Muslim city. It's called Harar. And they were Muslims in the old time. Still, it is considered as a Muslim city in Ethiopia. And when these Orthodox Christian kings went to control this place, the Muslims were not happy to give their trade routes and the power. So they started fighting with the Christians, which led all the historians to write wrong history that there was a war between Muslims and Christians, which it wasn't at the beginning. It was economic or benefit war. It's not because of the ideology of Islamism or Christianity. So when they were starting, 2 European countries were interested in this war, and they converted it into religious war. And these were Portuguese and the Ottoman Turkish. And during the old time, Ethiopia, the old Ethiopia, including Eritrea, Djibouti, Somaliland, and the Red Sea port was controlled by the Christian kings. So both the Portuguese and the Turkish were interested in this trade route. That's why they used religion as a cover and came into different directions. And first it was the Turkish who sent 2,000 soldiers to help the Muslims in the eastern part of Ethiopia in Harar. And the Muslims start attacking the Christians and the Christian people and the kings. So the kings had to retreat from the eastern part to the northern part of Ethiopia. First to the central part, to Shoa, which is now Addis, then to the northern part. They start retreating. While they arrive around Gondar in 1541, 400 Portuguese soldiers came to help these Christians, and it was led by Cristoforo da Gama, son of the great explorer Vasco da Gama. He was the one who led 400 soldiers and arrived in Gondar, and there was a very severe religious war, because after the Portuguese and the Turkish arrived, it was converted into religious war. The Muslims want to convert the whole Ethiopia into Arab country, and the Christians want to defend themselves. So it was a very severe war when Ethiopia lost thousands of people, lots of churches, and lots of documents, and lots of history. But after 2 years severe war, the Christians and the Portuguese defeated the Muslims 60 kilometers east of Gondar. In 1543, the war was over. Again, all the important trade routes and the power was controlled by the Christians and the Portuguese. But the Portuguese, when they came here, it's not only to help Christianity. They had second mission. So they have to start their second mission to convert the Ethiopian Orthodox kings into Roman Catholicism. Because in the old times, in history, religion and state was together. So most of the time, in all over the world, 1/3 of the power always goes to the church. So it is the priests and the clergy who divert the kings. So they want to control this power to be the state religion of Ethiopia. It's okay. So starting from 1543, when the war was over, until 1606, they tried to convert 4 kings into Roman Catholicism, which was difficult for the Portuguese, because in the old times the Ethiopian kings were very smart and clever. Because to be a king, they don't grow up here. For example, if we think Fasil is the founder of Gondar, his sons will not grow up here. They will be taken into a luxurious prison in one of the mountains where they can find everything they want. And that was like a college for them, where they learn history, war art, theology, and philosophy and literatures. So they were, when they grow up with lots of knowledge and ethics. So religion was especially one of the criteria for all the sons of the kings. So they were very strict in Orthodox religion, and they didn't accept for 4 kings, starting from 1543 until 1606. But the king who came to power in 1606, his name is Susinius, and he's the father of the founder of Gondar, King Fasil. So Susinius was in Ethiopian history we call him the weak king, who opened his door easily for the Portuguese to preach Catholicism, and he accepted Catholicism easily. And first it was for himself in 1613 that he accepted Catholicism and he proclaimed he's a Catholic king. Then the Portuguese, they pushed him that he had to proclaim Catholicism to be the state religion of Ethiopia. So in 1622 he proclaimed the state religion of Ethiopia to be Catholicism, which created a very severe revolution or war in Ethiopia, because all these people that like the new religion came from the Europe. So they start fighting with the king, and it was unbalanced war.
It was an unbalanced war.
Yeah, because the Portuguese, when they persuaded the king, they gave him lots of gunfires, and they built him a very defensive palace 60 kilometers south of Gondar, near to the lake Tana. Very defensive palace and the cathedral church. So he has got lots of gunfires. These people went only with spades. They were very angry. They went with sticks and stones and spears to fight with the king, who has got lots of gunfires. So in one day, 8,000 people died. It was unbalanced. That's why I said unbalanced. And he kept doing this for 10 years, starting from 1622 until 1632, where more than 35,000 people died. And finally, he couldn't resist of the stress, because he was killing his own people, and he was the first Ethiopian king who proclaimed new religion in the country. So he died of stress, according to the historians. And according to religion, we have our own tradition that he was sick because he was doing lots of sins. So when he dies, it was Fasil who came to power, the founder of Gondar, in 1632. And he was based first in Gorgora, 60 kilometers south of Gondar. And when he came to power, he was not welcomed by the people, and he had to make some decisions or some measures. So the first measure he took was he proclaimed Orthodox religion to be the state religion of Ethiopia. Second measure was he expelled all the Jesuits and the Portuguese missionaries who were preaching Catholicism, and he introduced closed-door policy for Europeans. And the third measure was he started reconstructing lots of Orthodox churches to show that he's an Orthodox king. Then that is when he got back his grace as a king, and that's when the people accepted him. 4 years. Then he moved his seat from Gorgora to Gondar, because Gorgora was also considered as a Catholic city. And when he compared Gorgora, which is 60 kilometers south of Gondar in northern shore of Lake Tana, and Gondar, there are many differences, because Gorgora was swampy area and there was malaria 1,600 meters above sea level, while Gondar is 2,200 meters above sea level and still non-malarious. And the second reason was security. When you see Gondar, Gondar is surrounded by mountains, where he can use these mountains as a natural fortress. That was his second reason. And the third reason is the water. The water in Lake Tana was heavy water and stagnant, while in Gondar there were 2 rivers running all year. So he can use this fresh water every time. So because of that, he moved his seat from Gorgora to Gondar in 1636. And he succeeded to build this beautiful palace, which gave a name Camelot of Africa for Gondar. Gondar is mostly considered as Camelot of Africa. And again, when we think of 17th century, when we think of Africa, when Europeans were taking some part of Africa in the 7th century, Ethiopia was having luxurious time with these palaces and lots of things which we are going to see them. And Fasil, he built this first castle, and then he built his own archive over there, a 2-story building where they used to.
Yes, so what happened to the Portuguese and the Turks and all those? What happened to all of them that were?
Well, the Turkish, when the war was over in 1543, some of them they were killed and some of them escaped.
Thrown out.
Yes.
Okay.
And the Portuguese, when Fasil came to power, one of the measures he took was to expel all these Jesuits and to proclaim closed-door policy for Europeans.
Closed door.
Yeah, no Europeans were allowed to come.
No, very good.
Actually,
that's how we were able to be
what
free
Pharaoh
of
has said,
colonial.
when King Fasil came to the power, he declared closed-door foreign policy. And Ethiopia were isolated from the European about 100 years. Even he made some agreement with some Yemeni imams not to let the European missionaries across to Ethiopia. As you have mentioned, when there was some civil war between the Orthodox and Catholic, more than 35,000 peasants were killed by the Roman soldiers. Some scholar has said the Ethiopian people, they prefer to die rather than accepting a new religion. It's very difficult to separate the Orthodox religion with its tradition. And the Jesuits had also wrong mission. They want to Christianize the Christian people. That was unacceptable. That's why more than 35,000 people were killed by the royal soldier. That's why, as Freud mentioned, some of the scholars, even if they mention this palace is built by Portuguese, Arab, and Moorish, that's totally wrong, because there wasn't any European people who were living in this compound. Of course, it has some kind of architectural influence from Indian, Moorish, and Arab, as well as Portuguese. But this palace, built by Ethiopian people and decorated by the Black Jews, or what we call them Ethio-Israelis people, even if now they are airlifted to Israel. So this is the reason why many people died. To tell you general information about this compound, the total area of this compound covered 70,000 square meters, and it has its own fortified wall, which is like 1 kilometer nearly in length. And in this compound we will find 6 different palaces built by different kings at different times, from 1636 until 1769. But during the Gondarian period, about 10 kings came to the power. Among that, 6 of them built their own dedication in this compound. That's why what we call it the Commonwealth of Africa. And we will see archive, which was used as a library, even if now most of the books are kept in British Museum. It was built in 1860s, more than 1,000 books, 14 replica Ark of the Covenant, and 2 crowns are kept in British Museum. But now there is some kind of movement to return back those books, the place where it's belongs.
Yes.
The crowns, right?
Yes, the crown, gold and silver crown. Even the Italy, as you know, they returned it back to the Aksum Stanley. Still, we are asking them, the first Majesty Haile Selassie aeroplane, what you call it, Nisr Tafari. Nisr means an eagle. Tafari is the name of Haile Selassie, before he becomes a king. And still, we are asking most of the treasure, which was looted by the British, by the Italian, and also by the Sudanese in 1880s, because most of the church were destroyed by the Sudanese. And in this compound we will see lion cage, even if now there is no lion, but Abyssinian black lion used to kept in this compound to symbolize power, not for entertainment like Roman king. Even Abyssinian black lion were the national emblem of the country until the days of Majesty Haile Selassie. And we will see steam baths, what you call it hammam, and we will see a lot of ruined building which was destroyed by the British aircraft bombardment to drive out the Italians. I hope you will have a very nice time in this compound. If they would like to add something, otherwise we have to.
I don't know, if we are comfortable together, we can do it together.
Let's do it together. Together.
Yeah.
Together, let's go. Don't need to split.
The main palace, no? So maybe we'll not come back this way because there is an exit in the other side. So if you want to take some photographs, take some photographs. Because he has been working, he was a deacon, so he knows better than me when we come to the church. But as I tried to tell you, all the rituals and all the practices we practice is related with Judaism. Yeah, as I told you, it came in the 4th century, and all the rituals and all the process, for example, when we about fasting, we are not allowed to eat meat or milk or something, which is again from the Judaism. And the way we kill our animals, we are not allowed to eat meat from Muslims or Christians. We have lots of rules which are from the Old Testament. That's why the Ethiopian Orthodox would say we still practice some rules from the Old Testament and the New Testament. Even it's unique because it is the Ethiopian Orthodox Church which has replica of the Ark of the Covenant still in every church.
Actually, this is what the historian has said. Christianity